Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back to do a quick tutorial for you guys. I previously shared this little Twinchie box on my channel, and the lovely Christine asked if I would do a tutorial on it, so I'm going to do that in this video. So first of all, you're going to need a piece of cardstock that measures, I'm going to just quickly grab my scoreboard as well. So you're going to need a piece of cardstock that measures 2.5 inches by 7 2/8 of an inch. So it'd be 2.5 inches this way, and then 7 2/8 of an inch this way. You're then going to place it on your scoreboard at the 7 2/8 at the top, and then the 2.5 inches down the side. You're then going to score at 2 inches, 2 6/8 of an inch, 5 inches, and 5 6/8 of an inch. So that's 2 inches, 2 6/8 of an inch, 5 inches, and 5 6/8 of an inch. You can do all those scores. You're then just going to fold and crease all those score lines that you've done. So that is your actual frame to your box. This larger piece will be at the bottom, like the bottom front, and then the smaller side will be your lid, like the top part. So the larger piece is that goes to the bottom, and then the smaller bit here will be the front top, and that's how it will fold. You're then going to need 2 of these, and they will be 2 inches by 2 4/8 of an inch. So 2 inches this way by 2 4/8 of an inch this way. So you're going to need 2 of these. You're then going to lay it on the 2 4/8 of an inch side. So the 2 4/8 inch side at the top, 2 inches down the side. You're then going to score at every 2/8 of an inch. So you're going to score 2/8 of an inch, 4/8, and so on, all the way to the end. You're then going to do an accordion fold, and it will look like this. Yeah, so you, at the end of it, these two, the end pieces will face the same way, if that makes sense. So you want these two, so you'd go, this piece you'd go down, up, all the way. So then the two ends will face the same way, and you'll do 2 of these. And then these parts, I'll just move this out of the way. So you will then have 2 of these. You can use some, I normally use wet glue just because I feel like it holds better, but for the quickness of this video I've just put some of this red line tape, because it'll dry. Well, obviously it won't need any drying, it just wet glue takes a little bit time to dry. Yeah, so having this, like I said, this is the bottom front, and then that's the top. You're going to stick one side of the accordion on here, this part here. So that's your front bottom piece. This is what the side will look like. You're then gonna just, I kind of just squeeze it together and then line it up and stick that side there. And then that's the side. Now with this, I have left the gap on mine like right to the edge, because I've obviously put a lot of like 3D stickers and stuff on there, and I want to fit a lot more. If I wanted them to just like line up in these little ridges, I would most probably only get about 5 of them in there. All you do is you put these little side pieces, you just put them further in, and then it'd make that sort of hold a lot tighter. But I just like to try and fit as many in as I can. So I'm just going to remove these sticky things, and you're just going to do the same the other side. So line that one up like so, and then again squeeze that together. And line that side up. And then squeeze that together, and that's it, guys. That's pretty much the frame. It's just literally to decorate now. That's the box made. It's really simple, really quick, once you've got the measurements. And then if you wanted to use like white cardstock and then you wanted to do the layering pieces, I have got the measurements for those as well. So you are going to need 2 of these. These are for the bottom here and also on the top piece. You're going to need 2 of these, which are 2.5 inches this way by 6/8 of an inch this way. So 2.5 inches by 6/8 of an inch. And I just use some wet glue to these pieces, and then you're going to stick that piece down. Oh, so the measurements that I've given for these is the exact size. So if you wanted a little border, you just trim a little bit off the sides. I like a little bit of a white border, so I literally take a little, I'll show you, like a little sliver, like pretty much that off the sides. Obviously I couldn't measure that, so the measurements that I've given you is the exact measurement of that piece. But if you wanted, like I said, a little white border, you just cut a little piece off. And then this piece, add some glue to that, and then this fits on the bottom. You're then going to need front panel, and then that will measure 2.5 inches this way by 1.5 inches this way. So that would be your top of the box there. So 2.5 inches this way by 1.5 inch this way. I'm just actually going to trim that a little bit more, because I want a bit more of, yeah, white border there. You're then going to put some glue, and then stick that on the top piece. Okay, so that's that piece. Then this, so that's the front. Then you got this back panel, and for that you are going to need a piece of cardstock that is 2.5 inches this way by 2 2/8 of an inch this way. So 2.5 inches by 2 2/8 of an inch this way, and that fits on the back like so. So I'm going to put some more glue on that. So that's the back panel, and then the last one is this bottom front panel here. This one is going to measure 2.5 inches at the top here, and then 2 inches down the side here, and that's going to fit on now. Like I said, all measurements are exact, but if you want a little white border, just trim it a little bit on each side. And you don't really need to take much off, it's like literally a little sliver. And that is it, guys. Really simple, really easy, and a really sweet way to give out a little bit of Happy Mail or do a Twinchie swap. Yeah. So on this one, I just use some Velcro as the closure, but you could do, I'm going to use, actually, these are my like full stickers. Yeah, that might work. So I'm going to use this sticker. I'm just going to take off, I'm going to use this tool, if I can open it, this tool, to just take the stickness away from the top. I'm thinking might need a bit more. It just removes the stickiness. I am going to leave some at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to put some extra glue, because I find that the glue that they put on doesn't hold things. I'm just going to put some glue at the bottom now. Just going to stick that down. And then that will act as my closure. Hold on. I need to wait for that to go off. That's the thing with wet glue. I'm too impatient. It takes a while to set. Hopefully that's set now, and then you just slide that behind, and then you could put like a little sentiment, or I mean you could even put a little handle there if you wanted. You could add a little charm. Really cute, really simple, really easy to make. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and yeah, I hope you you make these. If you do, tag me in your videos. Just put Twinchie box. Yeah, and I'll check out your videos. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next one. Take care, guys. Bye.